What if I told you that 8 healthy people fooled some of the world's top psychiatrists into believing they were mentally ill? And what if I told you their experience inside psychiatric hospitals was so shocking it exposed the very flaws of the mental health system we trust? Today, we dive deep into the controversial Rosenhan Experiment, a mind-blowing psychological study that shook the medical world. But here's the twist: this experiment is far darker and more dangerous than it seems. And there's a mysterious twist no one is talking about. Let's uncover the truth. In 1973, a psychologist named David Rosenhan and 8 healthy volunteers set out on a mission to infiltrate psychiatric hospitals. But here's the kicker: they weren't mentally ill. They didn't have a single psychiatric disorder. So, why would they do this? Well, Rosenhan wanted to test a question that no one had the answer to. Can psychiatrists truly tell who's sane and who's insane? And, if you're labeled as insane, can you ever escape that label? The volunteers entered 12 different hospitals, each pretending to suffer from auditory hallucinations, hearing voices. They said, "I'm hearing a voice saying, empty, hollow, thud," which was a totally made-up symptom. And that was enough to get them admitted, underscore. But what happened next will leave you stunned. Despite the volunteers acting completely normal once admitted, they were still diagnosed with mental disorders, mostly schizophrenia. Even when they revealed that they were not mentally ill, the doctors didn't believe them. What's worse, the patients at the hospitals began to notice the experimenters weren't really sick. They knew what was going on. But the staff, they didn't. Why? Because once someone is labeled as crazy, that label sticks. And no one questions it. This experiment exposed something much darker than just flawed psychiatry. It raised disturbing questions about power, authority, and identity. If the system can't even tell the difference between a real patient and a healthy person, can we trust anything? The patients were treated like numbers, their humanity stripped away, and their voices ignored. Imagine living in a place where your word means nothing, and your reality is dismissed. Is this the kind of care we expect from a medical system, underscore? What makes it even worse is the dehumanization of the patients. Some were even forced to take medication they didn't need or engage in nonsensical therapies, all because they were labeled. Imagine being stuck in this terrifying place, unable to escape your label. But here's the twist: there's something you don't know about this experiment. Something that has never been fully revealed. At the time, no one knew that Rosenhan's study wasn't just a reflection of flawed psychiatry. It was a warning sign about how easy it is to manipulate the system. And here's the shocking part: many people believe Rosenhan's findings were more than just an experiment. It was an attempt to expose the entire psychiatric system for what it really was. But did Rosenhan go too far? And did this experiment ultimately harm the very patients it intended to protect, underscore? But wait, there's something else you might find disturbing. The story of an anonymous professor who was supposedly part of the experiment and wanted to escape from the psychiatric institution. Was he trying to escape from the label, or was he one of the insiders who saw what was really going on? There's a mysterious twist to this story that goes beyond the volunteers. The hidden piece that no one talks about. But it raises another question: if the psychiatric system is so flawed, how far would you go to escape the label of insane, underscore? The Rosenhan experiment changed everything we thought we knew about mental health, but the question remains: can we ever truly know who is sane and who isn't? Is mental health diagnosis a science, or just an educated guess? And here's the big question: if you were the one being labeled insane, would you ever be able to escape that label, underscore? Thanks for watching, and if you found this video eye-opening, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating mysteries of the human mind. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the psychiatric system is still as flawed today as it was back then? Let's talk about it.